Good morning. I'm here today to talk to you from New York City, Pace University. My name is Birney, and I'm going to speak to you today about integrating environmental restoration science with computer science in New York Harbor with New York City Public Schools. This is phase 3 of our project, which is funded by the National Science Foundation. You can see here, this is Manhattan, New York. I'm sure some of you have been here or had the opportunity to visit and partake in some of the activities that New York City has to offer. We hope that those will resume in the coming year very soon and you will be safe. The model today that I'm going to discuss with you began with 5 different components: a teacher training, a student curriculum, a digital platform, an after-school program, and community exhibits. This commenced in 2014. The project is based in evaluation and research. The model itself is a project goal. Increasing teachers' knowledge in STEM and increasing students' knowledge in STEM continue to be those components. Additionally, focus now remains on creating careers in the STEM industry for students and maintaining their interest in STEM. The project itself takes place on Governor's Island, which is just off the southern tip of Manhattan in New York City. You can see here we have some of our oyster cages with some of the students working alongside. The first pillar of phase 3 is teacher training in computer science, data science, and STEM career exploration. The second pillar is student curriculum in computer science and data science, which is created and generated by teachers alongside scientists and alongside curriculum specialists. Pillar 3 is the Summer STEM Institute for middle and high school students in New York City, which is hosted by Pace University. You can see that the students have the opportunity to partake in field science at the same time as they are learning about data science, Python, coding, and other activities. Pillar 4 is the community-based restoration STEM+C hubs. These hubs are located out in New York Harbor, and students travel to these various locations to collect data. They then bring the data back to their classrooms where they are analyzed with their teachers, and they look at the various tools and methods in which data can be analyzed. This is middle and high school students. As you can see here, the cages are quite large, so sometimes it takes 2 students to bring up these cages. But the students are very stalwart and engaged in terms of gaining the access to the various components of the cages, and all safety measures and precautions are taken as students do this research. The original 5 pillars are located here. As we've transitioned through the various phases, we have amended the components of the pillars to make sure that they are improved and the efficiency and effectiveness of all the pillars are functioning at an optimal level. So our evaluator works alongside us to inform us of things that are going well and things that can be improved upon. The project leadership and deliverables and outcomes are very important. These are what are generated by the project itself, as well as all the constituents within the project. The evaluator, the researchers, the leadership team, the implementation team, and the dissemination team all compose the various components of our work. This picture depicts Lower Manhattan, and as you can see, students are required to go out into the field, gather data, gather information. They then bring that back to the classroom where it is discussed with the teacher, as well as uploaded into our digital platform, which I will speak to shortly. With our original plan, we created a model that would include all of the partners as constituents in learning alongside one another, as well as giving feedback to improve the various methods that we look at in terms of evaluation and research. Given that there's 17 partners, it's a very large project, and so we have to make sure that the alignment within the partnerships stay aligned. Additionally, the evaluation and research has a model in which we require feedback from the researchers, the evaluators, and to make sure that we don't go too far down any particular vein, so that the research itself is generating what it's supposed to be generating. We also seek larger global partnerships. This is one of the reasons I'm here speaking to you today. We would love to collaborate with people that are interested. We have substantial partnerships here in New York City, and we hope that throughout the global universe that other people would be excited to participate in this project or create smaller collaborative partnerships within your own institutions. It's often said that success is no accident. It's hard work, perseverance, learning, sacrifice, and most of all, love for what you're doing or learning to do. And so we are learning alongside one another in this project as we learn how computational thinking can be embedded within the environmental science curriculum and help students alongside each other to learn the various components of computer science through the lens of environmental restoration science. We have a very diverse population here in New York City. This was taken pre-pandemic, thus no mass, but in terms of students, we are very excited to be able to service New York City public schools. We also have a component that focuses on citizen science. The citizen science component involves the community. The main focus of this work continues to be to improve the water quality in New York Harbor. The oysters themselves, one oyster will filter 1 gallon of water per hour. So by putting oysters back into New York Harbor, we will be able to have a much cleaner environment, one in which the community can be integrated into. As you can see, the students here, they must be very involved in the water itself, making sure that the cages get out. And so it's not an easy task, but they certainly love doing it. We also generate qualitative information through the project, which is disseminated, shared at various conferences, publications, and journals. We also generate qualitative research, doing the same thing, where students are actually involved in some of this research and also involved in the presentation of the work. In terms of the research plan and the local model, because curriculum plus community enterprise alongside computer science, we will continue to make strategic planning, inform decision making, and strengthen organizational capacity through these conversations, our monthly meetings, our quarterly meetings, our weekly meetings, through staff, stakeholders, and constituents involved within the project. The main hub of our work is located in the digital platform. The digital platform is able to house all of the information, the data, the research, the uploads from students, teachers, scientists, STEM industry people, as well as those people interested in participating in the volunteer components of our work. This is just a brief screenshot of one of the capacities of our digital platform. You can see water conditions, land conditions. In this slide, you can note that there's a curriculum that's being developed alongside, as I mentioned, within the classroom with the teachers. The teachers provide us feedback as to what works, what doesn't work, and how we can improve that curriculum. This slide depicts the teacher working alongside the students once they've come back from working in the field. It's very important for the students to have the field experience as well as the experience within the classroom. These two go hand in hand and allow for the teacher and student to build a bond, but also to discover research in two different capacities. The curricula data and metrics on the digital platform allow us to see how many times a lesson plan might be implemented in a classroom. It also would allow us to see if there's problems or areas in which teachers are not really interested in it, and so we can refine the curriculum in this manner. It's been very, very helpful in creating a curriculum that's extremely robust. Students, teachers, scientists, and industry professionals collaborating together was the goal of this model. It's an educational model, as I mentioned, that's now been in place for 7 years, going on 8 years. The ability for these people to work together, collaborate, and understand what everybody's doing at the various capacities has been very, very influential in how we decide to go forward with each one of the phases. We host cloacia for the New York City community probably once a month. So the symposiums and various components of our work has allowed us to integrate into the community, involve the community, and listen to the community and the community's needs. Middle school students working alongside scientists, collecting real-time data and information was one of the other goals of this project, to allow students to see what kind of STEM careers exist and allow students to participate in the capacity of scientists, right, as mini scientists learning alongside them. The Oyster Restoration Station monitoring is guided by the students. Some of the students really never had an opportunity to get to the water's edge, so this allows students to do so. The data and the metrics on the digital platform are then available to a global community. People in Australia or Europe or China then have the capacity to be able to see what's happening in New York Harbor and have their students do the same thing, as well as connect with our students. That's always been a very, very important goal for us, to broaden participation and growth through that. The idea once this project is over is that we leave a footprint in terms of what we've accomplished and a model that will be sustainable and long-term. We hope that all of these items, such as the curriculum, the field science manual, the white papers, the journals and publications, videos and film, permanent displays at the New York Aquarium, the digital monitoring platform, the STEM teacher training model, the STEM mentoring model, the restoration-based community science model, and the mobile applications that have been created by students will all be something that would be exceptional to the STEM community. Ultimately, these partnerships that we've established are long-term, they're ongoing, and they allow for the partners themselves to go out and get future funding based on their own particular areas of research. We hope that in the future, given that the New York Harbor will have clean water, that all participants in New York City and stakeholders would be able to go out and visit the water's edge, such as this picture shows, to be able to integrate into nature, to see what's happening in our environment here, and participate on a different level in New York Harbor. We also hope that there will be living breakwaters, which is designed by SCAPE, completed in 2024, that would allow for communities to come in and do research themselves, see various displays, and participate together working alongside scientists. I understand that some of the days are like these, right? Where you have a bull and I'm the fearless girl and you're trying to get over this whole entire project because there's some days things don't always go as planned. And so we all have those days. And I always remind myself, you know, you have to be fearless, and at the end of the day, we can conquer anything we put our mind to. Thank you so much for listening to me today. It's been a pleasure to be here to speak with you. I hope that you will come to New York City once it's safe to visit us. You are welcome to come see the various programs we have in place and visit the locations that we have working right now. I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you again for your time. My name is Lauren Birney from Pace University in New York City. Thank you.